Hi, I wanted to show you the process of turning marks and annotations into Cornell notes. Once you have good marks and annotations where you find the main idea or write the implied, you're looking for supporting details, key vocabulary, you can turn them into any format of notes that you want. You can turn them into an outline. You can do a concept map. You can do maybe a timeline, depending, or you can turn them into Cornell Notes. Cornell Notes is a tried and true note-taking strategy that can be applied to anything that you do as a student. Videos, class lectures, articles, textbooks, journals, class discussion. It all fits into Cornell Notes. Okay? So hopefully you watched the video that talked to you about the format of Cornell Notes. I'm going to show you my example with an article called The Healing Power of Pets. I want you to have that article available so that you can see what I'm doing, because I'm just going to walk you through creating those Cornell Notes. Okay? So the first thing you want to do is you want to turn every heading and subheading into a question. That gives you a purpose for reading. It helps you chunk the material, and it's sort of like a question, answer, question, answer. So I turned the title into the question and put it in the question keyword column. You can have all of these as questions that if you want in this question column, you can have a combination of questions and statements or questions and vocab, however you want to set it up. So then we're going to skip a space because we want this to be visually appealing. And I find my first mark that I marked in the text, and it's in paragraph 2, and it's the main idea. So I am going to write then the main idea over in the notes column. I'm just copying it down. Animals have provided a specifically therapeutic purpose since the time of the ancient Greeks, who documented the ameliorative process. Oh, I'm having a difficult time typing. Process of horse assisted therapy. Sorry, you're going to hear background. Uh, just ignore it. Okay. So here's my notes. I can do one of two things. I can go right next door to the question keyword column and put something in here, or I can wait until I've finished a section and then go back through and do the keywords then. It's entirely up to you. So you might just want to have, I'm going to do it as a question. Who first documented therapeutic aspects of animals? And whenever I use these to study, because that's the purpose of notes, is to use them to study so that it gets into your long-term memory, you just fold your paper down this line and you ask yourself a question and see if you can answer it. Then I skip a space and I move to my next thing that I marked on my text, which is the next paragraph. The use of animals in therapy has expanded quite dramatically in the last century as we have learned more about the ways in which animals provide treatment for many illnesses. Okay. Sorry. Now, whenever you're actually doing this in real life, you're probably not going to be typing your notes. You might. When I was in college, my first semester, I typed all of my notes. Sort of a waste of time, but it reinforced me looking at my notes again. So whenever you write this out, you're going to shorten words, you're going to do abbreviations, have your symbols. Okay? So you don't necessarily have to have complete sentences, but I'm showing you complete sentences so that you can um, know what I'm doing. Okay. So my keynote over here, I'm going to keep it in question form. Why has the use of animals in therapy expanded? So once again, when I use my notes to study, I ask myself the question and I see if I can answer it. And then I have my example pit bulls and parolees. Okay. I can also capture those um, minor details. And I can do them right underneath these major. Okay. They're in care homes. They're in educational organizations. They're in mental health institutions and correctional facilities. Okay. Those are examples of the places where they show up. Let's see if I can. Nope, it won't bump that over for whatever reason. There we go. Okay. So now I skip a space and I go to my next thing I've marked, which is at the last paragraph in the left-hand column. Increasingly, the healing potential of animals as a form of therapy is becoming apparent. Now I have numbered how it's becoming apparent, okay, as my major supporting details. So I want to capture that in these notes. Okay. Let's see. So I'm going to say shooting at outdoor festival. The second one was vigil for victims of school shooting. Okay. So then I'm going to put over here examples of, I can do it as a question if I want. What are examples where therapy dogs were used? Okay. Then I skip a space and I go to my next idea, which is it's helpful to differentiate between less formal activities and professionally directed therapies when it comes to animals used in therapy, right? And then my next paragraphs are the differences between AAT, AAA, and AAI. So I'm going to then capture AAT, which is animal assisted therapy, which is structured and targeted therapeutic program that involve trained animals that must meet criteria, right? Then its goal is to improve cognitive, social, emotional, and physical functions. And then I keep going, right? So that was AAT. And I'm going to put the AAP and AAPT underneath that. Okay. And I would take my notes there, but in the process of time, I'm going to move on then to animal. Oh, sorry, I started off here with AAT, so I'm going to start off with AAA and the definition, animal assisted activities, less formal, that provides service users to interact with specially trained animals who are handled by professionals and volunteers. Okay, so then I would scroll down, and then there's a paragraph on AAT. I'm sorry, AAI, and I would capture what AAI is here. Okay, and then that's animal assisted interventions, and I would take my notes there. And then over here, I might have what are differences between AAT, AAA, and AAI. Okay. And then I would skip a space, and then I come to a question. Which animals? But that doesn't say much, right? Which animals are helpful? And I would take my notes then, doing the same thing. Main idea, okay, steps, and then I would skip a space, and how do animals help would become my next heading over here with my notes there, and so on and so forth. Who do animals help? Okay. So the key here is all you're doing is taking what you have marked and annotated and putting it in this form. Okay? That's what you are going to be doing for your article. So we've already marked and annotated the article from the last unit. Now you're going to take those marks and annotations and turn them into Cornell notes. So if your marks and annotations were not great, or if you didn't do it, you have an opportunity to, redo it or do it for the first time, excuse me, and then you can handwrite as long as I can read your writing, or type those into Cornell notes. Okay? That's the assignment for this unit. Some of you are going to love Cornell notes because it's a little bit flexible. Some of you might struggle with it, but you are not bringing anything that you do not mark and annotate to these notes. All right. Good luck, and I will see you soon.